Right now, at this very moment, you are carrying something, a weight, a story, a past, a voice in your head telling you what you can and cannot do, a set of beliefs, most of which you didn't even choose for yourself. You inherited them from society, from family, from past experiences, and yet here you are, wondering why you feel stuck, why every step forward feels like dragging chains. What if I told you none of it is real? The limitations, the regrets, the doubts. These are not facts, they are thoughts, just clouds drifting through the vast sky of your mind. They come and go, yet you hold onto them as if they define you, as if they are you. But the truth is, you are not your past, you are not your fears. You are not even the voice in your head that tells you otherwise. Look at an eagle. It doesn't carry the weight of yesterday's failed hunt. It doesn't sit on a branch regretting the fish it missed. It flies, fully present, unburdened, free. And yet here you are, with wings you refuse to use, grounded by nothing but a story that has already happened, yet you relive it over and over again, as if it holds any power outside the walls of your own mind. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in a prison cell. Imagine that. 27 years, yet when he walked out, he did not carry resentment. He did not hold on to bitterness. He freed himself before he was ever physically free. And because he did, he moved forward not as a broken man, but as a force that changed the world. Now ask yourself, what prison have you built for yourself? And more importantly, why are you still sitting inside it when the key has always been in your hands? Some people wait. They wait for the right moment, the right circumstances, the right person to tell them it's time. But the truth is, waiting is a lie. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. There is only this breath, this step, this choice. And in this moment, you decide, not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. You have a fire inside you. You were never meant to be small, never meant to live in hesitation. So break the chains, not tomorrow, not someday, now. Move forward, fly, because you are free, because you always were. Your past is a story, not a sentence. Yet so many people live as if what happened to them has locked them into a fate they can't escape. They carry their past like an anchor, allowing old wounds, past mistakes, and missed opportunities to define them. They replay painful moments in their minds, turning them into an unshakable identity. But if the past is nothing more than a memory, something that exists only when you think about it, then why let it dictate your future? Imagine a prisoner who has spent years behind bars. One day the doors open and freedom is offered, but instead of stepping out, he stays inside, convinced that prison is where he belongs. Not because the walls are real anymore, but because he has accepted them as part of who he is. This is how most people live. They hold on to failures as proof that they can succeed. They let past heartbreaks convince them they are unlovable. They use rejections as reasons not to try again. But these are just stories. Stories they tell themselves over and over, not realizing they have the power to change the narrative. There are people who have lost everything, family, money, health, yet still rise and rebuild. There are those who were abandoned, betrayed, or hurt beyond measure, yet they refuse to let their past define their worth. Viktor Frankl, a survivor of the Holocaust, witnessed unimaginable suffering. He lost his family, endured starvation, and faced death daily. Yet he emerged from that horror with a simple yet profound realization. No matter what happens to you, you always have the freedom to choose your response. He chose to find meaning, to move forward, to help others rise from their suffering. He refused to be imprisoned by his past, and because of that, his life became a testament to the power of the human spirit. The past does not hold power over you unless you give it permission. What happened, happened, but it is over. It exists only as a thought, and thoughts can be changed. The person you were 5 years ago, or even 5 minutes ago, does not have to be the person you are now. You are not bound by yesterday's decisions. You are not trapped by old failures. You are free to rewrite your story at any moment. The question is, will you? Every day you wake up, you stand at a crossroads, continue carrying the past like a burden, or set it down and step into something new. The choice is yours. It has always been yours. You are not your thoughts, yet for most people, the mind is an unrelenting master, dictating emotions, actions, and self-worth. A single thought can make you feel powerless, unworthy, or stuck. A voice in your head whispers, "You're not good enough. You always fail. What if you mess up again?" And because the voice sounds like your own, you believe it. You accept it as truth without question, without realizing that thoughts are not reality. They are merely passing clouds in the vast sky of your consciousness. Imagine sitting by a river, watching leaves float downstream. Each leaf represents a thought. Some are gentle, some are heavy, some stir emotions, and some barely catch your attention. Now imagine reaching into the water and grabbing a leaf, holding onto it tightly. It becomes your focus, your burden. This is what happens when you identify with a thought. Instead of letting it drift away, you attach to it, believe it, let it shape your mood, your choices, your identity. But just as you can let go of a leaf and watch it continue down the river, you can let go of any thought. A man once asked a Zen master, "How do I stop the negative thoughts that keep troubling me?" The master replied, "You cannot stop the birds from flying over your head, but you can stop them from building a nest in your hair. The thoughts will come. That is the nature of the mind. But you do not have to hold on to them. You do not have to let them control you. The moment you become aware of a thought, you create distance between yourself and the mind's noise. In that space, you have a choice to believe it or let it go. Think of a child who falls while learning to walk. He does not stop trying because a thought tells him, "You'll never get it right." He does not label himself a failure. He simply gets up and tries again. But as we grow, we begin to internalize thoughts as identity. "I'm not good at this. I always fail. I'm not worthy." These beliefs, formed over time, become invisible walls, not because they are real, but because they are repeated. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you water will grow. If you nurture self-doubt, it will take root. But if you become conscious of your thoughts, you can uproot the ones that no longer serve you and plant new ones. thoughts of possibility, strength, and resilience. You have experienced moments of silence, moments where no thought disturbed you, where you felt a deep peace. That is who you truly are. The awareness behind the noise, the sky, not the clouds, the stillness beneath the waves. The moment you realize this, the mind loses its grip. Thoughts may still come, but they no longer define you. You are not the voice in your head, you are the one who hears it. Freedom is a decision, not a destination. So many people spend their lives waiting for the right circumstances, the perfect moment, the feeling of readiness that never comes. They believe freedom is something they will eventually reach, a place in the distant future where they will finally feel unburdened, fearless, and alive. But freedom is not a point on a map. It is not something that happens to you. It is something you choose here and now in this very moment. A bird does not ask for permission to fly. It does not wait until the wind is just right or until it feels worthy of the sky. It simply spreads its wings and soars. But human beings hesitate. They trap themselves in invisible cages, built from fear, self-doubt, and the weight of past failures. They tell themselves they can't take risks because they don't have enough experience. They can't let go of pain because it has become part of who they are. They can't move forward because the past still holds them. But the truth is, there is no force keeping them where they are. The door has always been open. The chains exist only in their minds. There was a time when Nelson Mandela sat in a prison cell, his body confined, his world reduced to a small, cold space, and yet, even in captivity, he made a decision. He would not be a prisoner in his mind. He refused to let anger and resentment define him. Long before he was released, he was already free, because freedom is not about external circumstances. It is a state of being, a mindset, a conscious choice to rise above limitations. There are people who have everything, wealth, opportunity, resources, yet live as prisoners to their fears. And there are those who have lost everything, yet walk with the unshakable presence of someone who is truly free. The difference is not in what they have, but in what they choose to believe. A person who wants to swim in the ocean does not stand on the shore waiting for the waves to calm. They step in, despite the uncertainty, despite the fear, despite not knowing what lies beneath. Life is no different. The illusion of safety keeps people standing on the shore, waiting for a perfect moment that never arrives. But freedom does not come from waiting. It comes from stepping into the unknown, from trusting that no matter what happens, you will adapt, you will rise, you will find your way. Right now, in this moment, you can decide to stop waiting, decide to move forward. Freedom is not something you chase, it is something you claim. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Pain is a teacher, not a prison. Yet most people resist it, fearing it as if it were an enemy, instead of recognizing it for what it truly is, a messenger, a guide, a force that shapes and strengthens. When pain arrives, the natural reaction is to push it away, to numb it, to avoid it at all costs. But pain does not disappear simply because you ignore it. It lingers in the background, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to teach you what you need to learn. There is a reason why muscles grow stronger after they are torn, why calluses form after repeated friction, why the most resilient people are often those who have endured the most. Pain is not here to break you, it is here to refine you. Yet, people resist it. They see failure as proof that they are not good enough, heartbreak as a reason to never love again, rejection as evidence that they should stop trying. They build walls to protect themselves, not realizing that these walls do not just keep pain out, they keep life out. In trying to avoid suffering, they also avoid growth, joy, and possibility. There was a man who lost everything, his job, his home, his sense of purpose. For months he felt trapped in despair, convinced that life had abandoned him. But in his darkest moment he made a choice. He stopped asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and started asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" And in that shift, everything changed. He saw that his job had been a cage, his home a place of comfort, but not of growth. He realized that losing everything was not an end, but a beginning. Within a year, he rebuilt his life, this time with purpose, this time with awareness. He did not just recover from pain, he was transformed by it. Life does not give you pain to punish you. It gives you pain to wake you up. Every setback, every heartbreak, every loss is a doorway. You can stand in front of it, refusing to enter, or you can step through and discover what is on the other side. The most powerful people are not those who have never. They are the ones who have walked through fire and emerged stronger. They are the ones who did not allow pain to make them bitter, but allowed it to make them wiser. Right now, whatever pain you are carrying is trying to tell you something. It is showing you where you need to grow, what you need to release, what you need to transform. Instead of running from it, sit with it, listen to it, let it shape you, not into someone who is broken, but into someone who is unbreakable. Pain is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of your strength. The present moment is your escape, yet most people live anywhere but here. They are trapped in the past, replaying regrets, dwelling on mistakes, reliving moments that no longer exist, or they are lost in the future, worrying about things that haven't happened, chasing a happiness that always seems just out of reach. Their minds pull them in 100 different directions, never allowing them to fully experience the only thing that is real, this moment, right now. A man walking through the forest suddenly realizes he is being chased by a tiger. He runs as fast as he can, heart pounding, breath heavy. He reaches the edge of a cliff, and, with nowhere else to go, he grabs a vine and climbs down. The tiger stands above him, growling, waiting. As he looks down, he sees another tiger below, trapped between danger and death. He notices a small strawberry growing from the cliffside. He reaches out, picks it, and takes a bite. It is the sweetest strawberry he has ever tasted. Most people live as if they are always running from something or afraid of what's ahead. They believe peace will come when their problems are solved, when their past no longer haunts them, when their future is certain. But life does not wait for everything to be perfect before offering joy. It is always here, in the smallest moments, waiting to be noticed. The taste of a ripe strawberry, the warmth of sunlight on your face, the feeling of air filling your lungs. The present moment is not just where life happens, it is where freedom exists. A prisoner in a cell can close his eyes, focus on his breath, and feel a peace that no walls can take from him. A person walking on a beach, surrounded by beauty, can be lost in thoughts of regret or fear and feel as trapped as if they were in chains. The difference is not in their circumstances, but in their ability to be present. No matter where you are, what you have, or what you have lost, the doorway to peace is always open. It does not require a better past or a perfect future. It only requires your attention, your willingness to step out of the stories in your mind and into the reality of now. A river does not struggle to reach the ocean. It simply flows moment by moment, adjusting to rocks and curves, never stopping, never resisting. Life is the same. The mind wants to control, to predict, to hold on, but in doing so it creates suffering. When you let go of the need to be anywhere but here, when you stop believing that peace is somewhere else, you realize it was never missing. It was never in the past, never in the future. It was always right here, waiting for you to notice it. Your excuses are illusions. They feel real, they sound reasonable, and they justify inaction. But they are nothing more than walls you have built in your own mind. The voice in your head tells you that you need more time, that the circumstances aren't right, that you are not ready. It convinces you that success is for other people, that failure is too risky, that the past determines the future. But if you look closely, you will see the truth. These are not barriers, they are stories, and stories can be rewritten. A man once sat at the edge of a swimming pool, dipping his toes in the water, telling himself that he would jump in when he felt ready. But no matter how long he sat there, readiness never came. The water would always be cold, the jump would always feel uncertain, but the moment he stopped waiting, the moment he simply leapt, he realized something. The hesitation had been more painful than the action itself. This is how most people live. They stand at the edge of their dreams, waiting for a sign, waiting for certainty, waiting for a feeling that will never arrive. They tell themselves they need more knowledge, more money, more confidence. But the truth is, action creates confidence, not the other way around. Excuses are sophisticated. They disguise themselves as logic, as responsibility, as caution. I'll start when I have more experience. I need to wait for the perfect moment. I can't do it because of my past. But look at the people who have achieved greatness. None of them had perfect conditions. None of them waited until they felt completely ready. They started while they were still unsure. They moved forward despite fear. They acted before they had all the answers. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is not talent, not intelligence, not luck. It is the ability to see through excuses and take action anyway. There was a woman who wanted to write a book, but she kept telling herself she didn't have enough time. She had a job, a family, responsibilities. But one day she decided to test her own excuse. She woke up just 30 minutes earlier every day and wrote a single page. Within a year, she had a finished book. She realized that the problem had never been time. The problem had been the belief that she didn't have it. She had always been free to start. She had just convinced herself otherwise. Right now, there is something you want to do, something calling you forward, and right now there is an excuse standing in the way. But if you question it, if you push past it, you will see that the only thing stopping you is a thought. The moment you refuse to believe your own excuses, the moment you take action despite them, you become unstoppable. Because the truth is, you were never waiting for the right moment. The right moment was always waiting for you. Forgiveness is for you, not them. Many people carry pain for years, holding on to resentment as if it protects them. They believe that forgiving means excusing the hurt, allowing injustice, or letting someone get away with what they did. But forgiveness is not about the other person. It is not about whether they deserve it. It is about freeing yourself from the burden of carrying anger, bitterness, and pain. It is about choosing peace over poison, about reclaiming the energy that resentment drains from your life. A man once held a burning coal in his hand, furious at someone who had wronged him. He gripped it tightly, convinced that holding on to it would somehow punish the other person. But the longer he held it, the more he realized the truth. It was only burning him. This is what resentment does. It does not hurt the one who caused the pain. It only consumes the one who refuses to release it. People hold on to grudges for years, replaying the same hurtful moments, carrying the same emotional weight. They believe that by refusing to forgive, they are protecting themselves from being hurt again. But in reality, they are trapping themselves in a cycle of suffering. There was once a woman who had been betrayed by someone she loved. For years she carried the pain, allowing it to harden her heart. She built walls around herself, avoiding deep connections, out of fear of being hurt again. One day she realized that the person who had betrayed her had moved on, unaware of the suffering they had caused. But she was still living in the past, still carrying the weight of an old wound. At that moment she understood her pain was not caused by what had happened. It was caused by her refusal to let go. The moment she chose forgiveness, not for them but for herself, she felt lighter. She was no longer a prisoner to a story that had already ended. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not mean allowing toxic people back into your life. It does not mean that what happened was okay. It means choosing not to let the past control your present. It means deciding that your peace is more important than holding on to anger. It means understanding that by letting go, you are not setting them free, you are setting yourself free. People wait for apologies that never come, for justice that may never be served, for time to erase the pain, but the power to heal is not in the hands of the person who hurt you. It is in your own. You can carry the weight of resentment for a lifetime, or you can put it down and walk forward without it. The moment you choose to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you do, you take back your power. You stop being a prisoner to what happened, and you step into the freedom that has always been yours. Forgiveness is for you, not them. Most people carry the weight of resentment, believing that holding on to anger protects them from being hurt again. They replay the betrayal, the harsh words, the broken trust, thinking that their pain is proof of what was done to them. But in doing so, they do not punish the person who wronged them. They imprison themselves. The past cannot be changed. What was said cannot be unsaid. What was done cannot be undone. But the suffering that lingers is not caused by the past itself. It is caused by the refusal to let it go. A man once carried a heavy sack of stones on his back, struggling under its weight. When asked why he did not put it down, he said, "Because these stones remind me of what was done to me. If I let them go, it would be as if it never happened." But the truth is, the event had already passed. Whether he carried the stones or not, the past remained unchanged. The only difference was the burden he continued to place on himself. This is how resentment works. It does not hold the other person accountable. It does not undo the pain. It only ensures that you continue to suffer. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It is not about excusing bad behavior. It is not about forgetting what happened. It is not about allowing toxic people back into your life. It is a decision to stop reliving the pain. It is a decision to reclaim your peace. There was a woman whose father abandoned her as a child. For years she carried anger toward him, allowing it to shape her relationships, her trust, her sense of worth. Then one day she realized that while he had left long ago, she was the one keeping his absence alive. She was the one giving him power over her happiness. So she made a choice, not to forgive him for his sake, but for hers. She let go of the resentment, and in doing so she freed herself. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It does not harm them. It only poisons your own heart. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the greatest act of strength. It is a declaration that you will not allow someone else's actions to dictate your emotions. It is a refusal to let pain control you. Right now, there is someone you are holding in your mind, someone whose actions still bring you pain, and right now you have a choice. You can continue to carry them with you, allowing the past to weigh you down, or you can release them. Not for their sake, but for yours. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. The past cannot be rewritten, but the story you tell yourself about it can. The moment you choose to forgive, you choose freedom. Doubt is a thief. It steals dreams before they even begin, whispering lies that make you question your worth, your abilities, your path. It convinces you that you are not ready, that others are more talented, that failure is inevitable, and so you hesitate, you second guess, you shrink, not because you are incapable, but because you have believed the voice that tells you that you are. But what if that voice is wrong? What if the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the belief that you can't have it? A young artist once dreamed of sharing his work with the world, but every time he picked up a brush, doubt crept in. What if I'm not good enough? What if no one cares? What if I fail? And so he would put the brush down, leaving his potential untouched, his talent unexplored. Years passed, and he met another artist, one whose work was not perfect, but whose courage was. "How did you become so confident?" he asked. The artist smiled. "I wasn't confident when I started. I just painted anyway, and that was the secret. Confidence is not something you are given. It is something you earn. by taking action despite doubt. Doubt does not mean stop. Doubt means go. It means you are stepping into something unfamiliar, something bigger than yourself. Every person who has ever achieved anything once stood exactly where you are, unsure, afraid, questioning, but they moved forward anyway. They did not wait until doubt disappeared. They did not wait until they felt ready. They acted in spite of it. The greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most inspiring leaders, they all felt doubt. The difference is they did not let it decide their future. A man once stood at the edge of a vast canyon, needing to cross. There was a bridge before him, but it was covered in fog, making it impossible to see what lay ahead. What if it collapses? What if I fall? He thought. And so he stayed where he was, trapped not by the canyon, but by his own hesitation. But another traveler came, stepping onto the bridge despite the fog. With each step, more of the path became visible, proving that the bridge had been strong all along. The first man had been waiting for certainty, but certainty never comes before action. It comes because of it. Doubt will always be there, waiting at the starting line, hoping you will never move. It will remind you of every failure, every shortcoming, every reason to stay where you are. But it does not see what you are capable of. It does not know your strengths, your resilience, your potential. And the only way to prove it wrong is to take the step it tells you not to take. Right now, there is something you want, something calling you forward. You can listen to doubt, or you can move anyway. One leads to regret, the other leads to possibility. The choice is yours. Freedom is not found in the future, nor is it trapped in the past. It exists here in this moment, in your willingness to let go of fear, doubt, pain, and excuses. Every limitation, every hesitation, every reason you have given yourself for not moving forward is nothing more than a story. And like all stories, it can be rewritten. You are not bound by what has happened to you. You are not defined by the mistakes you have made or the pain you have endured. You are defined by what you choose next. Pain is a teacher, not a prison. The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Excuses are illusions, not barriers. Doubt is a test, not a truth. And forgiveness is not a gift to others, it is a gift to yourself. The key to freedom has never been outside of you. It has always been within you, waiting for you to recognize it, waiting for you to claim it. You can stay where you are, holding on to the weight of everything that has held you back, or you can let go, you can step forward, you can embrace the unknown, trust yourself, and walk toward the life that has been waiting for you. The past is done. The future is unwritten. The only moment that matters is now. And in this moment, you are free.